good, guys? It's your boy Corey, and welcome back to the Artistry Drop, where we feature stories from today's rising artists. If you like being inspired, don't miss it out on weekly episodes, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification to be notified when we drop new episodes. As you guys can see, John is not here with me today. He's out on another excursion, another event type of gig, so he will be here for the next one. But other than that, let's go ahead and jump into our guest, guys. Our guest today is a versatile artist and songwriter hailing from the Bay Area, California, but now thriving in vibrant music scenes of LA. Boasting millions of streams and rapidly expanding fan base, he's swiftly emerging as a prominent figure in R&B, hip-hop, and pop. Guys, please welcome my guy, Calvin Davis Jr. Hey,
yes,
appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming through on the Artistry Drop. Definitely, yeah, I think we had planned this for a little bit, so I'm glad we finally got you on. Thank you for coming through, bro.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into your story, definitely got to get into the drink of the day, guys. It's really nothing. It's a fucking Corona. Simple. You guys know John is usually the one that makes the cocktails, and it's not my kind of thing. So, I got me and Calvin some Corona. So, let's cheers it up, bro.
Cheers to that.
Good podcast right there.
You can't go wrong with a Corona. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I love Coronas. What's your Corona or Modelo?
It really depends on the mood. They're both great.
They are.
You know
I don't know. For me, I've always just been a Corona guy, but then I love Modelos at the same time. But
I could fuck around with a Modelo draft or maybe a Modelo Negro draft if I want something a little more punchy.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I know. I guess it just depends on the mood.
It depends
on the mood.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in and, get to know Calvin a little bit. So, of course, we got to start off with some generic questions.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we mentioned, you're an artist and songwriter. At what point did you get into music?
I got into music at a very young age. So, my dad, he was in the DJ scene in San Francisco.
Yeah.
He was an MC for DJ Qbert.
Okay, dope.
Have you heard of him?
It sounds really familiar.
He's actually a Filipino DJ. He's
It sounds really
biggest. He's him.
Okay, it sounds familiar for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a scratcher. So I used to my dad would take me with him to Qbert's house, and they would just be working on music all day. Very niche genre, which is like scratching. So it's just break beats and scratching.
For sure.
No lyrics, no melodies or anything. But I just saw that work ethic, and I just got inspired.
Yeah.
But what I knew that I liked to do was write and make songs. And when I first started doing it, I was really just doing it for fun. Qbert actually hooked me up with a 808 machine when I was probably 7.
Yeah. Is it like the drum machine?
The drum machine, like old school.
Yeah.
And I had a boom box where I would just record, I'll make beats and just write random songs and record to the tape.
Yeah.
And most of the times I would write songs about what was going on in school. As a third grader. If I got in a fight with my friends, I didn't really know how to communicate it and express myself with them. So I would make a song and show them. And I just started falling in love with that. It was just kind of my way of expressing myself.
That's dope, bro. Yeah, that's really dope. Kind of starting with your dad, and then you kind of got influenced and stuff like that. And moving into kind of my next topic is influences. Growing up, who were some of your top influences?
Definitely like my dad, and because my dad also sings, so that's why he would MC.
Okay.
So seeing him perform, and just seeing people react to it, and then musical influences at the time, growing up, some of my favorite artists were Usher. I feel like Usher, he writes the soundtrack to life, when it comes to I'm a lover boy. So
for sure.
Ever since I was really little, I've always, kind of had girlfriends or little situations and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So Usher would write these songs that I felt like I would just connect to, and a bunch of other R&B artists. I liked Omarion a lot, and Chris Brown's first album. Just a lot of that R&B stuff, because I felt like my main focus in elementary, middle school, was always girls.
Girls, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was getting into these relationships. So when I would hear these,
you were a player back then, bro.
I mean, you know, I actually had girlfriends. I would like have be locked in.
Damn,
you know,
that's dope though. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
It was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously you mentioned a lot of legends. You know, Usher is definitely one of the guys I've always looked up to.
Yeah.
You know, definitely influence of. But you know, this is my lead guy right here.
Michael.
Yeah, grew up with MJ. You know, the guy I've always looked up to, and of course Usher, Omari, all these guys looked up to this guy too. You know, for sure. But no, you mentioned Chris Brown's first album. So do you not like the rest?
I do like the rest, but I the first album and then I'm trying to remember what the second album was.
I think
called.
It was exclusive. The one with Kiss Kiss.
The one with Take Me Down.
Take Me Down.
Like those type of records, even like Pretty Ricky and Pleasure P. You know, I was always
Pretty Ricky. I love Pretty Ricky too.
Yeah, I love like sex music.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
I love like
they're the ones to go to if you want that sex music.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty Ricky. You know they made it cool. You know they made sex music really cool. They had rappers. I always liked the rapping and singing stuff.
Yeah.
So that was always cool to me. That contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's dope, bro. You know, you are from the Bay Area, but now you're currently living here in LA. At what point did you decide to want to make the move to LA, and why?
I never actually really decided to move to LA. My first location that I was gonna move to for school was Atlanta, and I heard I know for sure the Atlanta scene is crazy.
For sure, yeah.
So I wanted to pop out there, just like see something new, because I was very niche to the Bay Area and the Bay Area sound. Like Bay Area's just got a lot of pride.
Yeah,
you know. So when you get in that zone, you're just like Bay Area, Bay Area. So I wanted to go and just learn some new vibes and just kind of see like you know what the people were on. But I was only out there for a bit. I came back out here. I went to audio engineering school, actually in San Francisco.
Dope.
But I had a friend that started going to school out here in LA.
Okay.
And he knew how passionate I was, and he knew like how much I love making music.
Yeah.
So he was basically like, "Bro, come move in with me. You need to be out here in LA. There's like a lot of opportunities, and this is a perfect place, you know, for you to thrive." So I was like, "All right, cool." I just dropped everything and just went out there and moved in with him.
For sure, bro. I mean, you know, honestly, that's kind of like me and my co-host John's story. You know, me and my boy John have been friends since 2013, and you know, he was a dancer, I was photographer, videographer, and you know, I kind of brought him onto my shoots, and he actually wanted to get involved with videography and photography and stuff like that. So I went to film school, graduated 2019, and you know, kind of took him underneath my wing, and you know, taught him some of the stuff. And once I graduated in 2019, that was at the point where I was like, bro, like, you know, I've been planning to move to LA and, you know, since 2015, like.
Oh, so this was still back home?
This is back home. Okay. Like, I told him, I was like, bro, like, you should come with me.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just one of those things. He was so settled at home. Yeah. Like, you know, his family's there, all that, you know, and I was like, bro, I mean, my family's here too. Like, but, you know, I'm trying to make something, you know, a name for myself and stuff like that. You know, I was like, you know, take your time, decide, you got time, you know, but you got to let me know soon, because I got to know how I'm going to act.
Yeah, like, I got to make my plays.
Exactly, you know, so, you know, eventually, I think it was like a month or two later, he's like, bro, let's fucking do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, you know, we both moved down here together. This was our first place together. And, you know, like I said, it's definitely dope. Like, you know, when you take, like you and your boy, you know, like he took you kind of in, and you know, I'm sure you appreciate it. Oh, you know, forever. Yeah, for sure. You know, so that's why it's so dope when you know, you have somebody that can see your talent, and you know, they're like, this guy can do it. You know, come through. That's how I felt about my boy John. Yeah. And you know, like we got the podcast now. We're both doing. I mean, you know, he's got his thing going on. I got my thing going on, and it's still dope. You know. Yeah. But like I said, LA. I don't know about you. LA for me is like a love-hate relationship. How do you feel about like being here in LA now?
You know, LA actually, I don't really have a hate relationship with it. Maybe when I first came here, I was just kind of around the wrong people and just kind of in the wrong areas, and just kind of my perception of LA was a little off, you know, but you just got to keep grinding. And I think once I got past, you know, it's kind of seeing the bluff. Yeah. You know, I could get to some spaces where things are serious, and I could connect with people that were actually doing things in the industry that I wanted to be in. So
For sure.
I just saw people that were doing stuff and people doing, things professionally. I think being in LA, you got to be able to start to read people well, and just kind of see who's about it and who's not. I try to be optimistic and give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but there does come to a point where it can be energy draining.
Yeah, for sure. And it's one of those things too, we've talked about this before, like LA is just such a fast-paced city. You literally have to try to keep up with everybody's speed and their pace, and obviously you got to go on your own pace as well, but it's just one of those things. It's like you see what everybody else is doing out here, you're like, fuck, like I'm lagging, like I gotta keep up with these people, and I know how that feels. When we first moved out here, what I was actually trying to do before moving out here, since I already had intentions like of moving out here since 2015, I was like, I gotta start networking. So I started networking, started following people out here in LA, all that, but 4 years later, that's when I finally moved out here, So I reached back out to those connections. Once I moved out here, I was already shooting with people and stuff like that. So I was like, this is perfect. But it's still to the point where, I needed a full-time job to,
of course,
pay the bills, obviously, and stuff like that. So it got to that point where it's like difficult, having a full-time job, doing what I'm trying to do and making this a full-time gig and, stuff like that. But the grind is real. Once you grind it out, trust me, you're gonna make shit happen for sure.
Definitely.
How long have you actually been out here in LA?
I think I've been out here about 7 years.
7 years? Okay, yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mentioned 4 years. I'm still trying to get used to some of the weird shit that you see out here because LA is fucking weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, coming from Seattle, like our city is so different. Like, the air quality is different. Like, it's so much better in Seattle. Like, I feel like I'm breathing like fresh air versus here. You feel like you're just breathing fucking like oils and all that shit,
Seattle's a beautiful green
for
city.
sure. Yeah, it's a beautiful green city, and I know Bay Area is almost, I wouldn't say almost comparable to Seattle, but it's close, like the people there, and the culture,
the weather,
the weather, yeah, for sure, the weather. I mean, even I think Bay Area is a little bit different than LA.
Yeah,
even though it is in the same state, it's like I definitely feel like Bay Area still has some kind of like vibes that Seattle has.
Yeah,
I've only been to San Francisco like 2 to 3 times, but I still feel like, damn, this is way different than fucking LA.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's very similar. My little sister, actually, she's like very much into, she lives in San Francisco now. So San Francisco has changed a lot.
For sure.
Over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But she's like super into like the cover band scene, the bar scene, which I hear is very similar in Seattle.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like bands and like, just kind of, so it's very similar and it's perfect for those people that like to, go to local bars and watch local bands. I think the rock scene is still kind of, popping in San Francisco, the independent rock scene, which I think very similar to Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, we had Jimi Hendrix from Seattle,
you
Nirvana.
have legends.
Yeah,
legends.
Nirvana. And, I mean, we definitely have legends, but obviously not like some of these other cities out here. You got legends from LA, you got legends from the Bay, like we definitely have our legends, but I feel
you got big legends.
We got big legends. I mean, Nirvana, Jimi Hendrix. I mean,
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. I mean, they are fucking big.
He's like one of the biggest.
For sure. I agree.
One of the best guitarists ever.
Agree. Yeah, I agree. But Seattle is for sure still on the come up because we do got those big legends, but I still feel like we don't have enough known people from Seattle. I think those are probably some of the main people. And do you know
Macklemore?
Macklemore, of course. Joe Coy?
I don't.
You don't? Okay, so he's an upcoming Filipino comedian, and he's pretty much been.
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
no.
You know him?
He's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah. I've seen him.
Yeah, so he's from Seattle as well. So he's definitely making his name for himself from Seattle as well. So we're on the come up, but it's like. That's why, like, for us, we rep Seattle so hard because, like, I love my city, and I love seeing people come out of my city and, being successful and stuff,
Definitely.
And I'm sure you feel the same way, too, about yours. Like, always seeing, like, but you guys got fucking legends out there, too, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of legends
out for sure. Talking about the Bay again, obviously, you kind of mentioned it. The Bay is definitely big in the music scene as well. Do you think you'll ever move back home and try to get into that Bay Area, like, music scene?
Honestly, I don't see myself living back in the Bay. Maybe maybe at a point I will get a home there just to be closer to family, because my parents still live out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I like to spend time with them and my little sister as well, and, you know, other family. But the next location that I'm feeling very optimistic about is Miami.
Miami.
So I think if I do, like, at least in the next 10, 20 years, my plan is to be bi-coastal and be living in LA and Miami.
For sure. Miami would definitely be a vibe. I know Miami scene is definitely blowing up as well.
It is, yeah.
Damn, like, honestly, like, you know, I have thought about, like, moving to the East Coast, like, way before moving to LA, because after I graduated from film school, I was literally looking for every film job I could.
Yeah.
And, you know, I actually had a couple interviews in New York and shit. Didn't, you know, land it, but I was like, damn, like, I could possibly be moving all the way to the East Coast. And then I'm thinking, shit, like, I'm fucking far from my family and all that, you know. But I'm actually glad I moved to LA. You know, I'm only like 2 hours flight, you know, from home and stuff like that. And, you know, getting used to the LA life and stuff. Like, now I'm about to have a family that I got to raise.
Crazy.
So, yeah, so, you know, we're going to be here.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah, no, it is amazing.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, it's a blessing. I'm definitely excited for it. But, hey, you know, if you go out to Miami, I'm definitely sure you're going to kill it out there, bro. For sure.
No, it feels exciting. I went out there earlier this year. I was kind of just, like, in a space earlier this year where I was, like, just not feeling slumped or feeling, like, anything negative about LA.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I was, in certain aspects in my life, I was reaching some ceilings, you know? So I was just like, I need to go take a trip somewhere, you know, because I've been, like, on this grind mode, you know, just, like, not traveling, not doing anything for myself.
Yeah.
And when I went out there and I realized, like, how many friends I have, you know, and I realized, like, even just the way that I move, you know, on my own, sometimes you got to realize when you go somewhere where you're not comfortable and there's not a lot of people that you've already established yourself with, and you can still move around and have motion and make good connections. You know, it makes you optimistic. It makes you feel less fear, because there's a little bit of fear that comes with change, you know, and going somewhere new. And but when I went out there, I was just like, damn, I could do it out here.
Yeah,
you know, and that just was super exciting, and it just made LA, because I never want to feel stuck, you know, even though I love LA and I think it's the best place to be for entertainment, and I've got some of the best opportunities I've ever got in my life out here. I still have this, you know, feeling of wanting to go out and explore and continue to challenge myself, you know, to be around different types of people and you know, learn and blend in.
For sure. Know? Change is definitely scary. I'm not going to lie, you know, like, coming, you know, leaving a city that I was born and raised in, and, you know, you feel the same, I'm sure, and leaving your family, it definitely sucks, but you also got to think about yourself. Like,
for sure, you
know, your family's always going to be there. They're only a call away and stuff like that, but, you know, you definitely need to come first, you know, and you're definitely trying to build something for yourself and stuff like that. And I think that's why a lot of us, you know, like, we always cope with change. Yeah. But then you're always like, you know, I'm trying to get successful in a specific area. And, you know, that's why I do love LA too, because it's a melting pot. It's like, you got so many people here coming for the same exact thing. Yeah. And, you know, while trying to pursue the same thing. There's a negative side to it, obviously. You know, there's too much competition. You know, there's those things where, you know, you definitely, kind of like what you mentioned, you got to be careful out here and stuff like that. But other than that, like, I love change, because I think it's a good thing for everybody. It's a different opportunity. Yeah. And it, you know, it gives you a chance to reach somewhere where you never thought possible.
For sure.
You know, you know, I definitely want to get into kind of how you started your music. You know, as far as your starting music, you started in the LA nightclub circuit, and it led you to being signed to Paul's Music Group. Yeah. What was it like doing the whole, like, LA nightclub circuit? And I'm assuming from that you really love doing live performances. Yeah,
I do. I love performing live. I haven't been doing too much live performances. I've done some of the clubs, like Bootsy Bellows and Poppy, and, you know, I had some amazing experiences, but I haven't had a solidified project. I kind of just been like just going as everything goes.
Yeah, for sure. Go with the flow.
I never really had a big plan. Like, even when I came to LA, and I always wanted to do music. Like I went to audio engineering school.
Yeah.
So I kept putting myself in positions to be around it and to continue to learn about it. But I never was like, like my dream is to race to this like fame thing and be this like artist. Like it's just always been my like passion and hobby. And I was actually almost like afraid to pursue it as a business because I didn't want to take away something that's so valuable to me, something that I love, and turn it into a business and make it something that stresses me out. Which it has done.
Yeah,
you know
facts,
what I'm saying?
Facts,
like it used to just be like make songs and it doesn't matter. You know, now it's like, oh, there's rules, there's boxes, and if you want to get on certain spaces, there's you got to stay in certain boxes. So I understand that, and I now do want to figure out ways to capitalize and spread the music, and get it heard more. But for me, it's never been about making music for a certain purpose, like for an outcome. It's just making it and
for the love of it.
For the love of it, from my own, like it's like my own therapy. It's my way. It's like my way of communication. Like I communicate best through music. So it just got to a point where the people around me and the people I was working with, because they were working, and then they're like, yo, don't just keep it on the computer. They're like, yo, let's take this serious. Let's start trying to get some stuff heard. So when I first came out here, one of the first jobs I got was selling club tickets. Okay. Like on Hollywood Boulevard, like just straight up. I met someone, they were like, yeah, you want to work here, whatever. So from there, I started doing more club stuff and just getting more connected in. And I realized, like, I need to have a job to fund myself. I'm here in LA.
It's fucking expensive here.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And if you want to start doing music, the right way, the business way, everything costs. For sure. Production, music videos, everything. So I was like, okay, I got to find funding. But I wanted to do something that would put me in position. So the nightlife stuff started making sense a bit. And then as I grew into the nightlife and just, put my work in, got some respect just from working hard. I started making some connections with the DJs and the managers and stuff like that, and started just kind of telling them like, I make music, and I really, my true love's R&B and pop and stuff, but at the time it was like 2017, so no R&B was getting played in the club. It was just all rap. So I was just like, I told my partner at the time, I was like, let's make some club rap songs and let's just try and push it to the DJs, because now I have the network. And that started happening, and we made some solid songs that got some good rotation. And I met a couple A&Rs in the club, because they kept playing the songs and people would introduce me to people, and then one person heard it and just put me in position. Was like, you ever do songwriting? I was like, not for anybody else, just for myself, and they were like, I think we could get you a publishing deal, because you got good streams, you're getting your songs played in the club, like people obviously like the way that you're writing. So let's try this out. And it was a great opportunity, and it was almost like it was the plan, like from day one, but it took years to actually happen. But I think it's just that, putting it out there, believing that it's gonna happen, and being patient and waiting for the right time.
Yeah, for sure. So was that with like Pulse Music Group? Is that how like it led in? Is like you're pretty much doing songwriting and stuff like that? Yeah. Okay, that's dope. Kind of definitely as an inspirational piece, like it does take years, like for our viewers out there, like it's not something where like literally it's going to be on your doorstep the next day. Like it takes years, like sure. I'm not even at where I want to be at yet, and still grinding towards it. But, you said it best, like, not much people talk about this, but it does take years. Like, I think a lot of people, especially on social media, just kind of see, oh shit, that person is fucking successful. But it took years to get to that point where, where you're at now.
It does.
So that's dope.
And there was actually a point, like, and I think this was like actually like a big shifting moment in my life. That there was a point where I didn't feel confident telling people that I was a artist or a songwriter because I didn't have the accolades, you know. And I feel like, especially here in LA, even in the Bay, you know, it's like there's still that thing. So I used to kind of just like, I wouldn't even tell people I was an artist or I would make music, you know. I would just be like, yeah, I'm just out here, you know, working in the clubs and just whatever. And then there was this like, it might have been during COVID because there was a lot of thinking time and resetting time. Yeah. And I was like, you know, there was just a moment of clarity when I was just like, you know, I love to sing. You know, I love to sing when I'm cleaning. Yeah. I love to sing in the shower. Yeah. You know, this is what I do. And for me to think that I have to have, you know, this, you know, title or these awards or you know, be on the radio or be associated with the label to be me, then I was like, you know, then I'm being, you know, like just dependent on something else to be me. You know what I mean? So I was just like, as soon as I let that go, you know, and I would go out no matter what. Like, it don't matter how many streams I got or if I'm signed to a label, like, just being confident. I'm an artist. I'm a songwriter. Yeah. That's what I love to do. I'm also, you know, I work in nightlife. I'm an entrepreneur. And just getting more confident in that. And as I got more confident in that, I think is when, you know, more things started happening. Yeah. You know, and I think you got to believe in yourself, and no matter what your accolades are, you know, you speak what's in your heart, and you know, you got to have that confidence because people can feel that. You know,
you speak in facts, bro. Speaking facts. Yeah. You know, I know you're working with, you know, producers and stuff when it comes to some of your music, but you know, I had to be a creeper looking you up on Google and stuff, and I found out you were also producing music, kind of like what you mentioned earlier. You had your drum pad and all that stuff. Are you still currently producing music for yourself, or do you still just love working with a producer in the studio?
Honestly, I prefer to work with producers because I can kind of stick to my niche of writing. Like my thing is like melodies and writing and vocal performances. But I get in my zones. Like this last couple of weeks, I've been making a lot of beats. You know, just getting in a zone.
Yeah, for sure.
But like a couple of the records that I have out, like Young God is probably, no, it's actually my most streamed song, and that was one that I produced.
Nice. So. It is a fire song. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And at the time, honestly, I just didn't have the budget for producers. Yeah. You know, and I wasn't trying to...
you got to take things in your own hand. Yeah.
I wasn't trying to get some shit offline and deal with someone trying to take down the record. So, and I was actually in a mood. You know, I was just like kind of like frustrated in life with certain things. Yeah. And that song just came out of like just pure like... I'm about to just prove everybody wrong. I'm just gonna make some fucking hot shit that just like, you know, that just like spills confidence that I've never have been able to reflect in real life. You know?
Yeah, that's dope, bro. Wow. You know, you're a songwriter as well. Like, what would you say is the hardest part about songwriting?
It's really new to me still, so I'm learning. In every session, you know, they toss me into the sessions with different artists, and it can go from major signed artists to like, most of them are signed, but it can go from like a more popular artist, more established artist to like a TikTok artist, you know, like somebody that they're just
upcoming, they're
popping, but sometimes they don't have a lot of experience. But I think the most challenging part that I've learned is just connecting with the artist, you know, because you want to go in there, you want to show them all your stuff, and
for sure,
you know, be the one to impress them. Yeah. But I've learned through these sessions is making a connection with the artist, with conversation and just being real. Kind of goes farther, you know, because you can have a session with somebody and work with them, and nothing can happen out of it. And sometimes you can have a session with somebody and not really get any work done in that session, but you connect so well with that person that you're exchanging contact info, and now like you're having consistent sessions, you know.
For sure. You know, I honestly feel the same way. You know, whenever it comes to like the music videos I shoot, majority of the artists I work with, like I'm already cool with, so we have a good connection. But you know, there's been times where I'll work with a brand new artist. They're like, hey, you know, like, are you down to shoot? Never met them or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead, you know. But and then I find out, like, in real life, like, they don't really talk much, and it's like they don't get their point across on like what they want the visual to look. So it's like I gotta pretty much put myself out there and, you know, do all this. So I've definitely found it so much easier to work with people like that are really good at communicating, or, you know, you can put yourself out there and talk about things and plan things. And that's why, you know, majority of you know, whatever project I'm working on definitely, you know, gets a little, I wouldn't say successful, but it, you know, it gets some good engagement and stuff, you know. So I for sure feel exactly where you're coming from. I feel like it's always best to connect with whatever artist or whatever you're doing. So like, it's eventually you're gonna have that what's the word?
Rapport.
Yeah. You know, like, it's just I think it's easier to work with somebody once you have that connection.
Definitely.
Like, it's just 100% easier.
Definitely.
I'm sure, you know, like, talking about songwriting again, I'm sure most songwriters, they write a lot more like fictional stuff, but there are those songwriters that write a lot of nonfiction and base it off real life events that had happened in their life. So when it comes to your music, do you write it off more fictional or nonfiction?
Honestly, I usually write things that are going on in my life. You know, even if it's like a rap song that's like more fun, and it's not so like emotional or such a, you know, storytelling vibe. It's still very similar to my lifestyle,
for sure.
You know, and I try to keep things in that pocket. I don't like to. I mean, I do like to write fantasy stuff.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but I also like to lock in and write things that I do connect to, you know, and try to stay authentic with the music. Yeah,
for sure. Is there any specific place you usually go to and write music, or anything special that you do to try to put you in that zone and come up with like a fire-ass song?
Not really. I mean, when I was in Miami, I spent some time out there, and I was just kind of just catching different vibes and just seeing, like, you know, and I was like told my publishing company, I was like, send me all your Afro beats, you know, all your island vibes, and let me catch some vibes.
For sure.
You know, being in different locations can give you that. And I was going out to nightclubs out there and just hearing different types of music and stuff. So, but honestly, the thing that inspires me the most is just listening to New Music Friday, like on Spotify.
For sure.
Or whatever, like the new
Release Radar or whatever. Yeah, I do the same shit. Yeah.
And I just listen to everything that's coming out, and I just get inspired. You know, it's just like, I was like, all this stuff is so good. Yeah. There's so much different, you know, types of music and artists, and people are merging genres, and it just gets me super excited and makes me want to write. But I write the best when things are going on in my life. That's when I can just like lock in and just like
spill it all out.
All out. But what I try to do is be able to still make, even if it's something very personal, I try to make it more universal so that people can connect with it.
For sure. That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
You know, going through your YouTube channel, I noticed you've got a few music videos up on there, but the last one you had uploaded was Kiss and Tell, and that was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Do you got any new visuals coming soon? Like, maybe me and you can work on some shit too and, you know, put some fire together, bro.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Something that I've been doing the last year and a half was just focusing in on my image, you know, and just kind of niching out stuff.
Yeah.
Because, you know, with music, you can just go everywhere, you know, and I am pretty versatile, so I can go everywhere, but now I'm just trying to follow my heart.
Yeah.
At least in where it's at now, you know, and I am getting it more into the R&B space.
For sure.
But being from the Bay, I like to keep everything slapping and knocking.
Yeah.
So, you know, I still love the 808s.
For sure.
I'm clapping.
But yeah, like I said, maybe me and you will get some shit together soon.
No, I would love to do that.
Let's do it.
And I'm feeling more confident now.
I think we actually had talked about it before.
We did.
Yeah, I think we had talked about it previously. So, hey, like I said, when you're ready, let's talk about it, bro.
And I feel like I am getting more ready. You know, there was one thing that I was doing was just throwing stuff out there. But now I feel like, you know, the branding is very important.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the niche is very important, and I just want to be more artistic with the visuals.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So.
You know, you're on your way to dropping some new music, and you recently did with your new single Expectations, which is fire, by the way, bro. Really love it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Are you currently in the process of working on an EP, or what new music can we expect from you in the coming year of 2024?
I've been thinking about an EP. I've been thinking about a project. But right now I'm just really focused on working on some singles and then connecting with more producers.
Yeah.
And just, you know, opening up that network, you know, because I think a project with a lot of different talented people involved is going to be super exciting, going to be super fun, and it's just going to, you know, bring a lot of people together.
For sure, for sure. You know, artists in general, this is definitely like, you kind of mentioned it you threw it in there a little bit, but artists in general, we definitely go through struggles, dealing with ups and downs of artistry. If you don't mind speaking on it, what were some of the struggles you had to deal with getting into the music business, and how did you overcome and get to where you are now?
I think one of the biggest struggles, and it's kind of what I touched on before, is owning it. You know, and it's owning it when you're not there yet, you know, and not letting, and I'm sure it's with like all industries, you know, like a lot of people are kind of, you know, almost ashamed to tell people what they're pursuing because they haven't, you know, received those accolades yet. So I think getting past that is a major thing.
For sure.
It's just feeling like, you know, no matter where you're at, that you're going to get there, and that you're feeling confident in your process of development, you know, because I think until you're there, you're developing, and you can take every moment as a learning experience to get better.
Hey,
you know?
Yeah, fire, bro. That's definitely, you know, some inspirational shit right there. We are coming to the end of the podcast.
Okay.
And, you know, Artistry Drop is all about being inspirational, and that's why we created this platform. So, you know, artists can speak their mind and, you know, hopefully inspire others. So what advice can you give to our viewers out here listening to, like, on becoming a songwriter or overall artist?
Yeah. I would say my advice is that you put the work in. You know, you do whatever you got to do to get yourself a studio. You know, if you can get a little mini, even if it's just a little mini setup at the crib.
Sure.
And it's putting those 10,000 hours in.
Yeah.
You know, I put the 10,000 hours in, you know, more unknowingly. You know, I just did it.
Yeah.
So when I started going into sessions with people who have been recording in studios for a long time, and they're just like, you got this, you know, and I'm like, how? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know this, but like, you put the work in, you grind, and I think the most important thing is that you treat people with respect. You know, you show love. You know, you keep that energy, and good things are gonna happen.
For sure.
Know?
For sure, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Are there any shout outs you'd like to give to our viewers?
Shout outs?
Can be anybody.
I want to shout out you.
Hey, thank you, bro. Appreciate you
for bringing me on here. Of course. Hopefully we can do some super dope artistic visual work.
For sure. Got you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We're on social media. Can our viewers find you?
At Calvin Davis Jr. on Instagram. I'm getting a TikTok going now.
Dope.
And
it's a great platform to try to grow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Of course, guys, we are going to put Calvin's, you know, info in the description box below, so you'll be able to link up with Calvin anyways. But Calvin, thank you so much for coming on the show once again. Definitely appreciate you, bro. This was a great episode. You know, you spoke some inspirational shit as well, so
dope.
Appreciate you.
Glad.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, it's Artistry Drop. If you're not following us on Instagram, you can find us at the Artistry Drop. And if you prefer just listening, you can stream all our episodes on all major podcast platforms. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.